Hey Sagittarius, welcome to Intention 1111. Today I'm going to be doing a love read for the month of September. I just wanted to say that Mars is doing something in Cancer, and already the cards are coming out to prove that kind of is right. This is going to be messed up, y'all. Okay, so uh, what we currently have for Mars and Cancer is a lot of emotional stuff. We got Libra going across doing some kind of thing like this. I don't know what it's called. So Venus is the planet, it's love, right? And you got Mars in Cancer, which is debilitated in Cancer. I mean, that's some Rihanna shit right there with that whole situation with her. So Mars in Cancer generally, though, Mars people have their Mars placement in Cancer are very about home and hearth, and they're very protective of their loved ones and families. But those bitches pop off if you threaten, any of those areas. Those are people who, I mean, they get real violent real quick when you fuck with their shit. So just remember that kind of energy may be brought to the table. People may be very sensitive. There may be a lot of emotions involved. Sorry. There may be a lot of doubts about how people feel about you or relationships or whatever. So just bear in mind it might be volatile. So just, keep grounded. Don't say no shit. There won't be no shit. Just remember to navigate through those waters very carefully. All right, Sagittarius, what we have for you so far, we have storm, we have avoidance, and we have comfort zone. We have someone who might be bringing unexpected news, or there might be an unexpected turn of events and situation in love relationships, or situationships, or fuckawationships, or whatever y'all got going on out there. You may be having someone being very clingy. You've got one person here who's being very clingy, and you've got one person who's being avoidant, right? So sometimes when you feel like energy's being pulled back away from you, some people have a tendency to latch on a lot harder, right? When that happens because they're trying to control the outcome. When in all reality, you just need to take a step back, okay? If they're pulling their energy back from you, what can you control about that? Nothing. The only thing you can do really is control how you react to it and how you perceive it, and get out of your ego a little bit, right? And say, hey, they might have other stuff going on, or there might be reasons why this person can't, communicate properly or interact properly. I mean, they might be a little bit, delayed or something. You never can tell. So what you have here is somebody who's backing away from a connection, and somebody who's trying to latch on harder and be more relevant in a situation, right? And that's creating tension and a storm and problems between the two of you. So let's see what we got. Let's see what the tarot has to say about that. I'm getting feelings of being overloaded, overstimulated, overwhelmed. Someone also may have abandonment issues. We all have abandonment issues. It's not a dirty word, right? I mean, we've all had situations in our life which caused us to feel that way, right? But that's something that needs to be addressed because for whoever this is for, that may be starting to affect, because when someone wants some peace and quiet, or they just want some, you know, and you got somebody knocking at the door, you're kind of like, fuck. So, it's kind of the energy, it kind of feels that way. So show me Sagittarius in love for September. Show me Sagittarius in love for September. Sagittarius. Somebody's juggling. Juggling meaning they could be in their thoughts, their thoughts are all over the place, or they've got two decisions or two things that they need to make a decision about here, or they're going back and forth about something in their head, and it's about commitment versus heartbreak. Somebody wants to commit, maybe somebody's kind of like, not right now, I don't know. Someone else is feeling very betrayed here in this situation. I feel like also the reality of a relationship is really coming into question right now. I feel like somebody's sitting here saying, well, this was all a ruse. It was a fantasy, or they were a little bit delusional, right, in where the relationship was truly at. There may be something like that, or the expectation was that this relationship was going to be a happily ever after. And we know that that shit does not exist. People flow in and out of our lives, and sometimes it's hard not to try to hang on to that, because it is at the end of the day validating for us, right? We want to continue to be validated by that person. We want to continue to feel good, by that person, right? And so sometimes we want to hang on to that. Instead of looking at the overall situation and saying, what is best for each of us here? So somebody's having really, really hard time adopting an idea that this person may want to back it off or may want to put a break on. Somebody's taking it as betrayal, right? When it's this person's maybe actually going through something. And they don't know about commitment. You also have someone here who maybe they've got some past heartbreaks, some past issues, and they are like looking back at that Three of Swords there, that heartbreak, right? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So that's also something that kind of needs to be dealt with here because you can't allow past heartbreak to continue to make you stand in fear or be in fear, right? Because you feel like you don't want that to happen again. The best thing to do is to take that out of the situation and look at the experience, right? So, for example, I don't want to get hurt again because it actually makes you feel like somebody got the best of you, right? Somebody got control over you, or somebody got you in some way, and that's the ego-based thinking. When you're saying, look, this situation didn't fulfill my needs. Or I am grateful for whatever aspect of the relationship you are, but you know what? Nothing lasts forever. And so there's some unpacking of that needs to be done here about a perspective, right? So let's kind of see. I want to see what this storm is here. Show me storm. What is going on in this situation? Show me storm. Jeez. Okay, yeah, commitment. That's the problem. This commitment. We have King and Queen of Pentacles here. We have putting on the brakes. We have a commitment that's not moving as fast as someone would like it to, or a relationship that's not moving into commitment as fast as someone wants it to. We have an idea here that someone is being very stubborn about moving forward in commitment. Someone keeps presenting something to them, and they're like, no, not right now. No, not right now. No, not right now. Someone needs to think about it, make a decision. There's also some of you here, for a select few of you, there's issues at work here about making a decision at work. Um, there is communication about a new opportunity coming in at work or for employment of some kind, okay, or some money coming in. But somebody here is really heavy feeling. Somebody's saying, look, I want to be free. I just want to be free. I just want to be free. I do not want marriage. I do not want necessarily commitment at this time. And it's a big argument here. Um, there is actually somebody still here in the room that's not really in the room anymore. Um, I'm getting here a previous marriage or previous serious commitment here that still kind of lingers a little bit. Um, and that's this person's not wanting to move forward because of that. You also have someone here who's a self-victimizer, right? Who Even though they're not listening, they're not paying attention, they're not picking up clues, they're not picking up cues, they're not really looking at a situation for what it is right in the moment. They're looking at what the potential of a situation can be 10 years down the road. Um, they kind of, when that shit doesn't work out in their head, it kind of starts feeling like they're a victim, like you've hurt them, because they're not looking at things appropriately. They're not seeing the situation as it really truly is. They're seeing what they want to see. I have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Um, you also could have a situation in which you feel like you are in a relationship with this person's former person, um, even though they're not there, or there is an idea here, a slight idea that there may be somebody else here, and that there's a choice that needs to be made. Just briefly there for some of you out there. What can this person expect? What can Sagittarius expect from this person? So you've got somebody here really hurt because they've been hit in the face with a little bit of reality, right? And it's kind of up to them at this point where they want to take that. You can expect conflict moving forward, conflict, maybe manipulation, a lot of guilt tripping. There may be ideas that this person can't live or they're mentally unstable without your presence in their life. There may be an idea here that someone creates fires that they need for you to put out, or there may be a lot of emotional hanging on, a lot of emotional dragging down, really heavy emotions about somebody who feels hurt. Now, I'm not trying to say blame the victim, right? What I'm trying to say though is we have someone here who, yeah, they kind of are a victim of the situation, but they're dealing with the victim of another situation, right? And you've kind of got the idea that this person is self victimizing because it's not going in their favor or the way that they choose it. They want it, they want to see it. So somebody here is not seeing things appropriately. They're not seeing things for how they really are. And so that's part of this person's pain, right? But you've got a lot of heavy, heavy emotions that you can expect. You can expect conflicts from this person. You can expect just real a lot of whack ass emotional shit like I'm fixing to take this whole pill of bottles if you don't get over here right now or bottle of pills or whatever, right? If you don't get over here right now. Or my mom's dying and I need you to be here right now or whatever, okay? This person is really gonna drive it the fuck home. I mean, that's all I can say. They're really gonna drive it home, you know? Because they're trying to pull that validation and that feeling and that connection back from a person. And they're trying to rehook that person with emotional manipulation back into their world. And that, you're going to end up either way when you're dealing with that empty handed. So you might as well deal with the reasons why you behave that way or why someone else may be behaving that way toward you. Um, what's a potential final outcome for this collective for Sagittarius? Sagittarius, you really need to search yourself long and hard. You're not happy here. And I feel like maybe you're not happy with yourself or, switch it how you need to, right? And you're looking back on something and thinking of all the investment and time that you've put into something here and how you've grown a situation, but you're still confused. Okay. So, for example, a 7 here, right? We have 7 months, maybe, 7 months, 7 to 9 months or whatever, that someone's invested in a situation, right? And after 7 or 9 months, you're fucking exhausted. Or you're thinking to yourself, um what do I have to show for all this time that I've spent with this person? Where is this relationship going? That it hasn't gone in 9 months or 7 months, right? Um, there's a lot of confusion still. A lot of things are clouded and shady. Uh, so I feel like at the end of the day, you're going to be looking at, well, what are we doing? What have I been doing? It's like you're waking up from a bad dream or you're waking up sober or something. Uh, Sagittarius, the advice here is you know what you need to do to make yourself happy. If you need to let go of stuff out of your life to make yourself happy, then that's what you need to do. That's part of a spiritual journey. That's part of a journey. People come into our lives to teach us lessons or help us learn things about ourselves or whatever, right? And we don't always get to pick and choose who these people are. And we don't always get to pick and choose what the lesson's going to be either, right? And oftentimes when you're on a spiritual journey and you're moving through that, there are going to be people who fall off by the wayside. They simply just stop interacting, or you have to make a conscious effort to remove people from your life, or, whatever the circumstances. But you know what makes you happy, and you've got to go after your own happiness because whether you're in relationship, marriage, whatever, at the end of the day, you're the only person you're answering to. And if you're living your life to make someone else happy or to prevent from hurting someone, you're always going to be unhappy. So, anyway, let's get some love cards on it and kind of see what they have to say. But I feel like there's a big struggle here in what someone wants, right? They need some space, right? And someone else is like, oh, hell no. I'm not giving you your space. So no matter what you do or how you try to phrase it to them or how you try to go about it, right? They're not listening to you. And the unfortunate part about this is that you may need space for more than a few minutes. You may need space for more than a few days. You may need space for more than a few months, which designates an ending to something, right? And so really that's what you're choosing, so, but again, you've got to do what is best for you. There is conflict in a current relationship in which someone wants some space. Someone is clinging onto something. And, the South Node, this is a South Node card, right? So it denotes that we are moving away from our South Node. We are moving away from the past. But this person keeps repeating patterns, right? That they've repeated their whole life. And it may be time for this person to move past some of those patterns, some of that behavior, and work toward their own goal, right? Show me love for Sagittarius. Love for Sagittarius. Society teaches us not to put ourselves first because that, especially for women and mothers and wives, because, oh, that's so selfish, You should be all about your family. But at the end of the day, if you're not filling up your cup, and you're not choosing yourself first, how good are you going to be to everybody around you? You're not, you know? Though we may be physically apart, spiritually, we are always united. Okay. For those of you twin flames or who are on a twin flame journey, I'm not talking about toxic, romantic twin flame shit that they're talking about now. I'm talking about an actual spiritual journey. You may be in a time of separation, and we know if you've been on the journey any length of time, when you're in a period of separation with someone, your twin flame, that is the time where you stop, drop, and roll, and you come in to yourself, right? And you've got to concentrate on what you want. You have to reprogram your brain. You have to say, why am I seeking validation? Separation hurts. Well, why does it hurt? Because my ego tells me I need to be with this person, right? But that's when you have to stop and work on your own self, because that's the whole part of the journey. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. Love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. But if I am missing from the relationship and I am missing being in the moment from the relationship because I got to go do some stuff, I've got to get my needs met, I've got to figure my life out, it's going to end anyway, right? I mean, it's not going to be there. When it comes to matters of the heart, there's no right or wrong. There's good in the dark, dark in the good, yin yang, that whole thing, right? It's society and man who puts labels on those things, but energy flows, okay? When it comes to matters of the heart, there's no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life. That's the name of the game. Don't make decisions based on guilt because you will lose every single time. Do not make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. It's only in being true to yourself that you can be more true to others. So it looks like you got a big decision to make here for some of you out there. You've got storm, unexpected change of relationship here, stalemate, avoidant, and clingy, because I feel like your paths are kind of going in different directions at this point. And sometimes you have to let that kind of thing happen. So, I'll see you later.